Okay, so I'm just starting to I'm gonna take the front bumper off to make it easier. I pulled the intake off and pulled the grill out, but yeah, I just got it on the little GK Tech stands just to bring it up a little bit. And now I'm just gonna start disassembling the front bumper. Then I can get the bucket under there, start draining the coolant. Don't mind this. This is just, I got water buckets and just kind of cleaned up because a little bit of fluid came on the ground, so got rid of that. But anyways, I got the Hydrofan pulled out. As you can see, Hydrofan's all gone. I got the reservoir gone, the line's gone. I just cut these two lines. Just cut them right here. I've already replaced these because mine started leaking, but anyways, this is now going to be my transmission cooler. So the stock setup that normally would cool the Hydrofan, I'm gonna route it to those two lines that normally would go into the auto radiator. So I'm gonna be getting rid of this radiator and going to manual koyo. And yeah, it was definitely a mess. Like it's a mess. It really is. Just prepare for that. I would recommend not doing it in your driveway because that's ATF fluid that's definitely going to stay in your driveway. And yeah, just get a bunch of rags, clean it all up. I mean, it's fairly self-explanatory. It's just draining it all is the messy part. And then just again, there's four bolts right here, same side. Whole system comes out. There's a nut right here, which is a 17. That's pretty much it. Again, I'm not rushing this, so I'm going to give myself a few days to do it. Sun's starting to go down right now. And yeah, my goal was to get that out tomorrow. I'm going to run to the parts store and get some hose that I can then remove it from the radiator and then just take those and then just come up into those ones. Obviously, they don't go right there. They come through here. And then come into there. I think that's going to be a way cleaner setup than like deleting this stock setup for the Hydrofan. It's like it's already there. Might as well use it. And again, if this trans takes a shit, it's the auto trans. I could care less anyways. I already have an R154 sitting at my storage unit. And then just doing things slowly. This is the first thing on the list. Again, none of this stuff was bad. I just wanted to just do one more thing for maintenance wise. Day number 2. I'm taking my time on all this. You could probably get it done a lot quicker than me, obviously, but I just like doing things at a nice pace. Don't feel rushed. Things usually don't break. So we still have the auto radiator in here. We need to basically lengthen these trans lines. I'm going to remove these completely and not use these because obviously they're aged and might as well just get rid of them. So we're going to pop these off here. These two are going to connect into this new hose. They're going to wrap up and over into the OEM Hydrofan cooler. I'm doing it this way. You could put an oil cooler if you wanted, if you didn't want to use this, but it's already here. Might as well use it. It's going to connect on there and right there, and again, just wrap up and around. So I'm going to get to making a mess right now, removing these two things. Just got kind of the hard part done. Got the new lines ran. Again, they're obviously going to look a little cleaner. I got those two pulled off. The way I did it was I took one of these little clamps, clamped on the factory trans cooler to radiator hose, and then just cut a slit in it, and then pulled it off and put this new hose from here just straight on it real quick. They are not fully on yet, but I just want to get this radiator out of here and the fluid to stop dripping before I really get them fully on. Something else I'm going to do as well, I'm going to be reusing the factory, I forget what those clamps are called, but whatever, the factory clamps that were on there. Make sure when you take them off, you press them, like you undo it, press it this way, just otherwise it's going to cause you a lot of misery trying to then pull this back off, slip it on, put it back on. So just slide them forward, put them on, pull the old rad out, And then you should be able to then fully get those on. Radiator's out now. Those are fully on. I went ahead and this edge was kind of dirty, some leaves and stuff. Clean that out. These actually look pretty good. I'm gonna replace them anyways. I already have them, but they didn't look too bad. So you probably don't need to replace those on your car. The next thing that I'm gonna do on the list is going to be remove these two covers and then start to assess how to get this lovely machinery off. I have the super weighted socket. I'm probably gonna have to buy a better impact because the one I have is like a decent one, but it's not gonna yank that off. I already know it. Day number 3. I got the top cover off, that cover, I got the belt off, as well as the tensioner. I'm gonna go ahead and actually replace that, so I'm kind of at a standstill on when I go to put stuff together, but not a big deal. I got to just get that ordered. Battery's charging. I went out to Home Depot and got the 1/2-inch high torque Milwaukee, so that's charging. Got to pop this off, then I'll be able to get this cover off and fully degrease everything, then pull this whole old Hydrofan pump setup off. That's going to be getting ditched, going to a water pump with clutch fan. I just got to figure out how to get this, because it's almost at top dead center. Not that it matters to take this off, because you could just take it off and put the new one back on, but I think I'm going to change the cam seals while I'm here. And if you see there, they need to get rotated just back a little bit this way, just to make sure everything stays in place. And it's a 2-to-1, I believe, so that's why it's bigger distance here than there. So I got to figure out, so the car's auto, and I have the front lifted up, how to get this to spin this way. I think I could just put the car in neutral with someone on the brake and pull it back to there. Sorry, there's probably going to be a little bit of noise. One of the neighbors is fucking mowing their lawns or something, I don't know. But basically here is, I would say 70% of the parts I'm going to be replacing. I've already kind of gone ahead and removed almost everything. I figure you guys don't need to see a video on how to remove stuff. There's plenty of other videos on how to remove stuff. The biggest thing though is on my Jzx90, I got rid of the hydraulic fan and I'm swapping over to water pump, clutch fan, Jzx90 radiator, and Shroud. So I'll go through as I'm putting parts on. I'll show you the part numbers for everything, because there's, I mean, this box is, it's full of stuff, all sorts of different part numbers. So I'll go through everything. I'm also going to be going to a better pulley. What's the brand? A Fluidamper. So I'm going to go to a Fluidamper pulley. Again, just get rid of it. Why put something that's junk back on it? And I'm trying to replace everything that I'm able to buy from Toyota. If there's a cross-reference of a part number, I'm buying. If I'm not able to buy it, I'm going to do my best to clean stuff up. Like, I know there is a replacement for the alternator, but I'm just going to do my best to clean that up. I got all these sensors new and just that stuff right there, but basically I'll go show you what the car is looking like right now, engine bay wise. And I do also have stuff at the powder coaters as well. So I'm not going to be able to finish this today. It's probably going to take 2-3 days, but basically I have all the valve covers off. I've just been cleaning up everything as much as I can. What I'm going to be doing right now is doing the front main seal, both cam seals, as well as the seal that's behind the oil pressure relief. So I'm going to go ahead and do these, and then I can start to get stuff new installed. I got all new timing stuff, everything. So I'm going to go ahead and get these seals changed. And if, sorry, this guy's fucking loud. I'll walk back over here. So the main thing behind this video is, if there is any issues or tricks on how to do certain things, that's what I'm going to be showing. I know with the radiator, since mine is a Jzx90, to go to a Jzx100. There are a few little modifications you have to do. So just the little bits and things that I'm learning along the way, I'm gonna give that knowledge to you guys. So going ahead and start to do everything. This is the little nut or bolt or whatever that goes in there. When you twist it off, just keep a hold, a little bit of pressure. It's not that springy, but this is one reason why if you're already in this job, just do certain little things. This O-ring is hard as a rock, and it literally just splits with just twisting it. So here's the part number for that right there. 2J works with the 1J, but just stuff like that. I'm just going through and trying to do as much as I can while I have all this off. Went ahead, did the front main. It's actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Now here is the cam, both the same part number, cam seals. I just used this little pick, and as you can see, like, that's a front main right there. I just put it in, got a grip, yanked it right out, and that had all of them. Same thing, so just do that and then just lightly tap them back in. Got this stuff buttoned up. I'm gonna be throwing on the 2J water pump. I just started to peel it up a little bit, but look how crusty this, oh yeah, it's probably not good that it falls in there. Let me throw a paper towel on there real quick. That's good. But like, this thing is so crusty. Like, I don't know how my car wasn't leaking. So anyways, get that seal off, clean up that little groove a little bit, and then put your new O-ring in there. That should come with your water pump. I will show you the 2J water pump assembly in 1 second after I get the seal off. You guys just saw me take that seal off. I got this from Driftmotion. That's the part number. Basically, it comes with all the seals you'll need. Went ahead and just cleaned the bolts up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get this installed on the car. Here's your water pump. This little seal is gonna go right here. And then you have your pipe that's in the back. And so make sure that's on there. Make sure your O-ring is in place, and just grab like one bolt so you can kind of hold it up. I'll go ahead and grab two of them. Actually, let's just stick them all here. Okay. Water pump's fully done. Next thing I'm gonna do is throw the thermostat in this little piece. That's gonna go, you probably can't see it, but right up in there. I'll put the camera and I'll face it upward. Also, something else, this is the part number for the thermostat. I think I said water pump earlier. Anyways, make sure you put the little rubber piece. It just pulls off, it wraps around it. Something else to note, there's this little bleeder valve. That needs to get pointed basically on the top. All right, this whole time I thought this faced down, it actually faces up. The notch is right, don't know if you can see it, right here. So this little block is where the top of the bleeder is gonna go. So when you put the thermostat in, that little nipple, it's gonna go right there. So let's just get a rough idea. Let's see where it's gonna be. Okay, so it's gonna be about in that area. Okay. Perfect. the other one on. These ones are just loose. I just stuck them on, got them cleaned up the best I could. Something else I want to note that I'm doing right now, I went ahead and snugged up all the water pump bolts. They go to, I believe, 15 or 16 foot-pounds. Something else to note is the bolt here and then the bolt that's right behind here are the two bolts that have the little area that's like smooth. The rest of them are full threads all the way to the tip. So these two go here, the rest go there. I don't think there's a sequence on like how to tighten them. I just kind of do a star-ish pattern. The next thing I'm going to put on is going to be the idler pulley for the timing belt. I got a new bolt, new washer, new everything. Something you're going to want to do is clean this off a little bit. It got dirty from me on the towel. Just like a little bit of blue Loctite. That's kind of a lot. Smooth this out a little bit. Okay. Just in the bottom few threads. And this is going to go right in here. It's going to be a 10 millimeter Allen. Okay, pretty snug. Put this to 26 foot-pounds. Perfect. Here's my old timing belt. Here is the new tensioner. I don't know if that, I hope that's the right part number. Well, obviously it's the right part number, but I hope you guys can search that. And then I went ahead with a Tomei timing belt. There you go. So I also, when I took this one off, I marked everything on here. I marked with like little Sharpie marks. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of line that up to this one, put tiny little marks, so then I'll be able to make sure the timing is exactly in the right spot. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this belt out and start to get it put up. So I went ahead and marked the belt exactly where top dead center is. Belt goes on a specific way, arrows facing this way because the motor spins that way. So let's go ahead and get these lined up. And there you go there. I just need to make sure that the tooth on the bottom lines up for where I have it marked. And then I'll go ahead and throw the tensioner in. So through the tensioner, I think I gotta remove the alternator, which I didn't really put it on tight anyway, so it should be good. Just take this bolt out. And it just slides right off. Okay, so pull that out. And go ahead and take our new tensioner with the old bolts. You guys can see this, and just slide it right in. There it goes, just like that. Okay. And then you're gonna go ahead and snug these two bolts up to 20 foot-pounds. Okay, so here is the part number for the lower timing cover. Mine was pretty dirty and oily, and I figured might as well just replace it. And then there's little dowels right there and right there that will just snap in place. The stock pulley that I had in my car was fine, but who knows when it's going to explode and separate. So I don't know if you can see, that's the part number right there. Pretty nice piece. You can either go this one or the ATI. Just if you go the ATI and your car is stock, I'd recommend getting the one that's the exact stock size versus like the underdrive pulley. But basically I'm gonna go ahead and get this fit up and then make sure all of the timing marks are straight. So the 0 on the 0 and this little dot, or this line, all this perfect. Again, something to note, this is very, very strange. This pulley is for 1J/2J. They all have the same crank, everything should be good. I have my old pulley underneath it. Here's a new pulley, I was about to install it, and I'm like, that's weird, my marks are all not lined up. This is TDC on the stock pulley. This should be 0 on here. Look at the difference. It's 1 mark off, and that is all perfectly the same there. So when you go to line this one up, just check beforehand, but mine's off by 1 line. So when I go to install it, I just gotta make sure it's 1 line back. All right, as you guys saw, from my stock crank pulley to this new Fluidamper, look, it's exactly, this is TDC, and it's exactly 1 notch off. Perfect there, and perfect there. So I'll have to email them. That pulley's off. Again, they're gonna be like, oh, there's nothing we can do about it. And they're really, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter that much. I just gotta remember in my head that that is 0, not that. So I might put a little scribe saying that that's TDC, but let's go ahead. We can pull this pin. Tight, it's perfect. All good, everything stayed in place. Again, I still need to torque this down, but I gotta torque those down as well still. They're just snug, same with the bottom, it's just hand snug. It's not really even anything more than that. Once I get these 3 snugged up, actually I'm gonna go online real quick and figure out the torque specs. I know this one's 239, and I think these are 69, but let me just double check. So just double checked, 59, not 69. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and torque that stuff down. I can now throw the alternator back in, which I'll just go ahead and just do that now, get it over with. Again, I'm just gonna snug it up, not gonna fully tighten that stuff down in case it has to come back off. Next thing I'm gonna throw on now is gonna be Gates Serpentine belt tensioner. It's a part number, these are the stock bolts. So let's go ahead and get that put on now. That's also gonna be torqued to 15 foot-pounds. So just so you guys know, and this should go in just like that. Perfect. And do not drop these, otherwise you are gonna have a shitty time. Snug them up by hand, and then I'll go 15 foot-pounds. Cool. Perfect. It's the next day, and I'm going to be installing the fan on the actual clutch itself. So a few things you're gonna need. That is the part number for the actual clutch fan part. Here's the actual fan blade. And then you're also gonna need 4 nuts as well. Right there. Pretty simple. Just bolts on like that. There's no washers or anything. It's just gonna be these 4 nuts. That should be good. So now you have your fan set up. Little trick for you guys. When doing the Fluidamper pulley, it's different. It has 3 holes versus the factory one has 2 holes. So I made this little bar, went to Home Depot, got some angle iron. Yes, it did bend a little bit, but I was able to torque it down to 239. That notched out. Basically, it goes in there like that. And then it's able to lock the motor. Now, this only applies to auto cars. If your car's manual, you could just put it in 5th gear, and that's not going to spin. But in an auto car, it's going to keep spinning no matter what you're in. So you'll have to make something kind of similar to that, or again, fab up whatever you want. But this is what I was able to do. It took me about 20 minutes and worked perfect. What I'm going to go ahead and do next, all this stuff is tight now. I'm going to go ahead and test fit the Jzx90 radiator in the car. Something you're going to have to do, this is a Jzx90, and to put a 100 radiator in, which is bigger than the 90 radiators from Koyo, is you have to take these little side pieces. I've seen some people cut them, some people bend them. I just got to see, am I able to bend it in, or should I bend it out this way, and whatever looks better. So again, this little piece here and this piece here. I don't know about this bit. That piece might have to get dremeled, but I don't know yet. I'm gonna go grab the radiator and do that. I'll let you guys know if I have to do any more hammering or cutting or whatever, but all I did was just, that used to be straight here, just hammered it flat. So now, flat there, flat there. That should be enough clearance. Like I said, this edge might get in the way. I don't think up here would, but it may. Something I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys beforehand though. This is the Jzx90 Koyo. You're also gonna need that part number. It's these 2 little rubber grommets, and these go right there and right there. You're also, again, you could reuse yours, but again, I just got new, I'm already into it. 2 of these. This mounts on the underside of the radiator, as well as you're gonna need 2 of these radiator supports. Actually, before you install the radiator in the car, you need to throw on your clutch fan assembly. You also need a new pulley. I got this pulley from Driftmotion, as well as you're gonna need the 4 bolts or nuts for here, and that is gonna be that part number. So, you'll go ahead, slip your pulley on, good like that. Let me just set this down real quick so I can open up these nuts. So the threads are like right at the edge, which is kind of sus, but I'm gonna throw some Loctite on these. And I don't know what you really torque them to, because you have to use a wrench like that, but just get them all tightened up. Also make sure all your drive line looking good. So yeah, I'm gonna throw a little bit of Loctite on those, tighten them up, then I'll come back, throw the radiator in. I messed up. I ordered the wrong shroud. I don't know what part of the video this is all gonna get tied in together, but I was under the impression that I could use a GX100 shroud and everything would bolt up. It does not. So you need either Jzx Tour S or Tour V shroud if you're gonna do the Jzx100 radiator setup. I ended up ordering the Jzx Tour S shroud because of 2 reasons. the Jzx Touresh Shroud comes with a coolant overflow tank, and there's one little fan opening down here, versus the Jzx Tour V Shroud. The coolant overflow is actually in that area, as well as it has two openings for fans. The fans themselves, the little electric fans that it comes with, I think they're for like the AC or something, are fucking expensive. So I'd rather find one than have to find two. And then also I like the placement of the overflow being here and not having to run the line off this to then another funky expansion tank over there. So yeah, I don't know what setup. Water pump's good, clutch fan's good, fan blade's good, need a shroud. I'm going to proceed with everything else, get the car running. The shroud's going to have to be in another video because I had to order it from Japan, and it's probably going to take 5 weeks to get here anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the stuff I got powder coated. Here's the stuff that I had powder coated all right here. Just a little bit for now. I'm going to do more stuff, but this is just to get it going. This is that pipe I was talking about, the water pipe. Went ahead and got new sensors just because if I'm already into it this far, might as well do it. This one is for your temperature gauge, and this one is for your ECU. Those are right here. Those go in there. I'm going to use a little bit of thread sealer on those. These are just the stock bolts that went in this. I'm going to clean them up a little bit and make them look better. I ordered this from Driftmotion, just like a little billet one. And the benefits of it, I have no idea. I'm just like, whatever, I'll just order it. So ordered that. Something else I'm going to do as well, just to do it, because Toyota's, all the plastic's brittle. I got new plugs for these. Mine were actually fine, but I'm going to do them just to do them. And I think that's it in this part. Obviously, I went Jzx90 radiator hoses, upper and lower. I may have to trim them, but we'll see once we get to that. I've already put on the lower one and it fit beautifully. You only need to do this hose if you're doing the 100 radiator. If you're doing a 90 radiator, it doesn't matter. Anyways, it's dark now. It's only been like 20 minutes, but went ahead, got that on. I just threw these on real quick, but I think I'm going to be trying to get these new or in silicone potentially. So yeah, I got that on. And then next will just be the Jzx100 radiator hose, and I think it's going to fit perfectly. I might have to trim a little bit off this edge, but you'll know. You want it to obviously not hit that. You're going to have your cover in here. But anyways, the next little bit I'm going to show you guys. I actually went ahead and re-put my baffles back in. Cleaned it the best I could, re-siliconed right underneath that little groove. Just got those cleaned up as best as possible since I got these powder coated and pulled them out. Here's some of the other pieces you're gonna need when doing a valve cover job. Again, actually some of these you don't need, but I'm already in there. Just might as well replace them. So anyways, this is the ventilation hose that goes in between. Might as well replace it if I'm already in there. This kit is cool. I got this from Golby's, as well as I have the other PCV, like that one. I already had that installed on the car a while ago, but basically that's that. And it comes with everything you need for in here, the check valve and new silicone little bin piece. You're also gonna need a new set of hardware. And this hardware I got from Driftmotion, as well as new seals, as well as 2 gaskets for the valve cover itself. So, gonna need that with this, and you guys will be in tip-top shape. I am not gonna be resealing my half moons. Mine didn't leak, and if they don't leak, I wouldn't do it. If they ever leak in the future, they're super easy. Just undo the bolts, pull it off, do the half moons, yada yada, whatever. But so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get these on the car. Actually, before I get these on the car, I have to clean the surface of the head. Went ahead, got the valve cover on, new gaskets, new bolts. I also put a little bit of silicone, well, the Toyota gasket maker or whatever, in these areas. So like there's like a tiny bit there, there, and then a little bit on top of each of the half moons. I have not torqued this down yet. I'm gonna go online and figure out the exact specs and the pattern you have to do, as well as I just threw the little Golby's silicone little squiggly piece on there. And this is the other Golby's piece that I've had. That goes right there. But again, trying to get rid of as much rubber as I can so that it's gonna basically last the lifetime of the car. You're gonna wanna torque everything to 6.2 foot-pounds. And you're basically just gonna start from the inside, work your way out, and kind of do a starish pattern. Another day back at it. So I got, I would say, 95% of everything done. There are still a few things I'm waiting on, so in the meantime, just to make sure that I did all this stuff correct, I'm gonna throw just distilled water in it. The things I'm still waiting on are gonna be these 3 lines, getting those in silicone, as well as I have it, but since I'm gonna have to pull these off, I'm just gonna do it at the same time. I have this hose right here that goes to the heater core. I have that in silicone, and then I'm gonna be replacing these 2 rubber lines with factory, and I have that new valve for the heater or whatever. This is just sitting on here, and the clear is really ugly. I know, the one that came on the car, like the factory gray, it's kind of broken on the top, so that's gonna get painted eventually when I paint that center cover. Got everything tight. Again, I have no shroud. I'm waiting on that. And this is just, again, that comes on the shroud, the reservoir. So I just threw it in here. I don't plan on driving the car. I just want to start it up, make sure the motor sounds good, because I had the full front end torn off it. So I'm going to go ahead, get some water thrown in it. I used to have this really cool jug, but no idea where it went, so whatever. Get this done. It's probably gonna make a mess everywhere, but at least it's just water. And I'm also doing water right now, just in case I do have any leaks. It's easy, like water's not that big of a deal. You guys get the idea. I'm gonna continue filling it up and go from there. Let's see. Sounds good so far. All looks pretty good. I'm gonna let the system bleed and should be good for today. Tomorrow I'm gonna finish. There's a few other things I wanna do, but hey, this is good enough for now. I hopefully got the correct shroud in. I will show you guys that in a second once I drain the coolant or slash water out of the system. But that's a look at what it looks like right now. I'm gonna obviously probably disconnect the lower hose, get all the water out of the system, throw the shroud in because I gotta pull this off as well. And I'm going to be replacing this rubber hose with a silicone one. I will show you that part number as well. And potentially, I should just do it. I'm gonna see how difficult it's gonna be. I have this hose, and this valve brand new from Toyota. So, oh, I also put these on, silicone, this one and these 2. So I got rid of the rubber, did the silicone. It's gonna be great, but again, I'm gonna go ahead and get the water drained out, this off, and then we'll start to slip the new shroud in. Just went ahead, it's not bolted in or anything. I just wanted to make sure that it fit because I had a GX1 and it did not fit. So that is your part number, Jzx90 NA shroud. I am probably gonna have to trim this little nub off because the intercooler piping, it's gonna be very, very close, but I'll see what I could do. Might be able just to push that pipe in a little bit more as well. I went ahead and I had to take the belt off as well as the clutch fan, and then I'll probably have to just slip it up from underneath. But gonna go ahead and get this bolted up, go underneath the car, make sure everything's all nice and tight, and I will let you guys know the fitment of this one.
Cool. All right. So then focus on getting all this nice and in. All right, cool. Here, you're good. Move real quick.
All right, so it's kind of a little bit of a process to get this fan in. You could probably come up and underneath. I just didn't feel like jacking the car up. I am missing that lower portion of the shroud that is on back order, so definitely gonna have to do that. And also, when I was taking the clutch fan out, the stud for the water pump actually came out with it, which is fine. I'll just Loctite it and it'll thread right back in itself. But everything clears, everything fits. I'm gonna go ahead and get all this buttoned up and come back and show you guys. All that's on now. Belt, clutch fan, it all clears and fits perfectly. Something that definitely has to be modified. Well, I guess I don't know how the stock intercooler piping is, but as you can see, this pipe on this kit goes right there. So just in the meantime, I'm gonna clean it up a little nicer, but take these, whack this off. Jesus. All right, so went ahead, just got that trimmed up for now. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of trimming to this to make that sit on there perfect. It's fine, all that's tight. Threw the hose on, got the overflow on. The next thing I'm gonna do real quick, here's the part number right there. These are for here. So I'm gonna get rid of the rusty ones for nice brand new silver. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Went ahead and got those on. It looks way better. Change of plans. I'm actually not gonna do that hose or that today. I am gonna be powder coating or Cerakoting or slash powder coating. I'm not sure for heat wise from the turbos yet, but I am gonna be doing these pipes black. And again, it'll just be easier to get in because the clamp is like way in the back of there, and yeah, kind of a pain in the butt. So I'm just gonna wait to do that one. Again, they're not bad. They could just probably be changed. So I think I'm good from now to throw coolant in it. That concludes my little overhaul slash maintenance. Got that all right there. And yeah, there you guys go for now. The next thing I'm probably going to be doing is I'm going to be doing my headliner. I got to do these black, that black, and just clean this up, make it look nicer, and go from there. Thank you guys, and have a good day.